Hey guys, Joshua Peterson here with Peterson Electric. Wanted to talk to you about kitchen lighting. This house is a beautiful, beautiful house here in Loveland. It needed some extra touch though above the cabinets. We do a lot of that. So right now this is kind of what she had with the lighting. She's got some pendants here. So we always refer those over the phone as pendants that hang by chain or rod. And they're dimmable, of course. Then she has can lights. Okay, some people call them pot cans. These are 6-inch. They are an incandescent screw-in bulb, 65 watts. And I should talk to her about this, but we can get a can trim that'll be 15 watts, dimmable, LED rated, and it'll run about probably 25-30 degrees less in temperature than these. So it'll be less heat in the attic and in the home, as well as the wattage will drop 50 watts per opening. So anyways, this is what she's got for under cabinet lighting. And it's not bad. It's a really nice LED tape they put in. I didn't put it in. Over here they did forget to do a section, unfortunately. We might do that later. But right here, it's all switched from one location. So when I do under cabinet lighting, I try to explain to people that there's zones. So for example, if I were to underlight this, this is a zone. This, of course, is a chimney hood, so it's breaking it right here. And then this is a zone right here. The other zone is going to be right here. So in essence, I have 3 zones. So if you give me a picture on the phone and you say, hey, I want to do on my under cabinet lighting, that's what we would see. Now, the under cabinet lighting that we typically use has a remote. It has an infrared eye, and then we basically pop that down so you can see it and turn on each zone. In her situation, they already pre-wired, that's the term I'm looking for, right here, so it does these 2 zones. Unfortunately, they didn't continue that over to the other, oh actually they did continue to the other section, excuse me. They had a outlet up above here. So this actually is switchable as well. So that's called a switched outlet. Think of it like this, basically in a nutshell, you're gonna go over here and turn on your disposal. You're switching an outlet, that's all you're doing. That's the exact same thing. So in a nutshell, if she didn't have those cut into the upper, this is kind of what we do. We will talk to people over the phone. We'll typically try to fish up an outlet right directly above the other outlet, in case this one's over here, of course, and that'll be cut in, and that brings our power up. It doesn't make it switchable. This is not really feasible to do unless A, your kitchen's already completely demoed, or B, if it's feasible to get through the floor, maybe in the basement, but usually it's not that possible. So what we do is we just get a constant hot up there, and when we do that, then we find an LED kit that we can switch. And then that allows us to allow the 12-volt wire to run through the cabinets with a small wire, because the code speaks about the fact that anything less than 80 volts, you do not have to protect. So when you're dealing with 12 volts or 24 volts, you don't have to protect, you don't have to worry about a fire. You do have, transformers can get hot, they're a secondary sign, but you don't have to worry about that wire. You do worry about the wire getting pinched, but not getting hit to a point that it's getting damaged and you're gonna have an issue. So what we did is we came in here and we actually installed upper cabinet lighting, and we did basically 2 zones. Okay, so that whole area is a zone and this whole area is a zone. So we needed 2 kits to do that. If I had come in here in the beginning and she didn't have any of this, I'd have 5 zones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're talking about in the future doing a 6th zone, and it'd be really nice. I can drill this really gently across these legs and put a nice thin tape, 1/8 of an inch, all the way across here, and I can get her an outlet in the cabinet and run my wires through, and we can make it switchable, and that we can turn on and underlight this bar right here, because this is a really good lip. Anyways, so what we did is we came in here, wired in her transformer, and that lights it up. So there's the effect, and that's what we call an indirect lighting. Okay, now this is excellent cabinetry. I mean, this is high quality stuff. They actually had a beautiful V tray up there to put in our extra tall crown, is what they call it. It's a crown molding. And so we stuck it in there, and then we were able to wrap and follow it and get it down and through. And that allowed us to A, not have the cabinets lit inside, and then B, have it up above. Now we installed 3 separate kits. One kit like this is the one that's already pre-switched and already taken care of from each zone. The other one is designed to have an LED kit that has the remote, the infrared eye, and then we can have it either, the third one, either colored or just have it plain warm. Now, when we talk about lighting, there's a Kelvin color that you're looking for. This is close to basically 2400 to maybe 3000 Kelvin. That is called really warm. That's like warm like the sun. Now, when you're getting into cool colors and you're wanting more of a whitish, you might be in a 4000, 5000, and then when you get cool white, you're probably in a 6K, which is going to be a lot of your T8 fluorescent bulbs in an office, of course. But right now, so this is a very warm light, and we turn that off and everything goes off. But if you look at this as an indirect, what's really nice about indirect lighting is that when you're watching a TV, or hanging out with friends, it's not blaring in your face like these pendants can be. But that's why we dim pendants, because it creates that mood. There's going to be task working and cleaning, and then there's just, friends over and enjoying a Friday night. The other lights are the same thing with the can lights, but these can be dimmed, turned into a warmer color that'll be LED as well. But you can kind of see a little bit how the paint on the wall is green, and this down here is more of a yellowish color, and you can see how that light will change. These are two different manufacturers, and this one's probably a little bit more in a whiter color, but not quite as white. It's still warm, but the other thing to keep in mind is this chimney is what they call it. Okay, this chimney had halogens in here. It was so hot we couldn't even touch it. This thing's been on all morning. It is warm to the touch, but as you can see, this LED we put in, they're like, what, 3 watts? We went from a 50 watt halogen to 3 watts. This is a GU24 base, so it's a 120 volt MR16 bulb. But all of these fins right here disperse the heat. And what we don't want to do is have the sockets eventually burn out. And halogens are very common for burning out their socket before the bulb at times. So we put them to LED. They are kind of more of a cool white, unfortunately. We can't get quite a warm yet. But putting this back in, this allowed a lot more light for her, and we wanted to save the chimney, because if we lose the sockets, it's expensive to either dig it out and get them spliced and redone and put some heat shrink and torch it and get it all connected with the right splice kit. The other thing is that if she had to dig this chimney out, I mean, you can imagine what kind of labor expense that would be to have a trim guy do that. So we like to put lights in to do a preventative maintenance. Yesterday I was in an attic and he has all of these same incandescent bulbs. We went through and put it in the trims that are LED, because all the insulation around that, even though the cans are rated for IC and in contact to insulation, we still dug out that insulation and it was turning brown. And the house was about 18 years old. So I personally like to have a little bit of room around my can so it can displace the heat. But the best thing you can do for your can lighting is turn them into lower wattage. So anyways, again, we talked about LED lighting for cans, we talked about pendant lighting, and different types of under cabinet and over cabinet and bar lighting. One other thing is that we also do toe kick lighting. The cabinets have to have a good space and a height, and then we have to figure out how to get an outlet down and get the eyeball out so we can hit the remote and the transformer work. And then that transformer, that remote works off of a 3-volt DC battery, kind of like your watch or something. Other than that, guys, hopefully this was a great video for you. Give me some questions if you have them. If you have any other input, we'd love to hear it. But this is kind of one of our specialties, to put lighting in here. As you can see, not a single ounce of damage we did in this kitchen. And we lucked out because it is a newer kitchen and we have outlets. Even if the outlets weren't in the cabinet, we could have still got those in there without major damage, because it's a pretty short fish job on that. But yeah, give us a call, Peterson Electric. Thanks a lot, guys.